Trump, Biden, RFK, who's going to handle the issues better, and the 5 twists that could shake up the election. Let's start with the 5 twists that can shake up the election. I want to know what you think is the most likely, and then we'll get into some of the key issues that are affecting Americans. Here are the 5 twists that could shake up the election before November. Bum-ba-da-da! Number 1, this is from a Hill article. Number 1, health concerns for Biden and Trump. Interesting, you didn't see that one coming. Biden, who is 81 years old, and Trump, who will be 78 on election day, are the two oldest presumptive are the nominees in U.S. history. So that's number 1. Remember that. Health concerns. Okay? Number 2, a wider international conflict breaks out. We see what's going around the world right now
That didn't already
with
happen.
Russia and Ukraine, with U.S. and with Israel and Hamas. What could potentially happen? Think about it.
Anything.
Russia maybe invades a NATO country. We'll see. Iran gets involved. They already kind of have.
Yep.
China, Taiwan.
Yep.
Who knows what the hell can happen out there? U.S. troops getting involved somewhere. Public opinion shifting. These are the types of things that can affect an election. 2 very likely things so far. Number 3, a third-party candidate like RFK gets involved, shakes up the election. Perfect. Number 4, the economy experiences a downturn or a recession or even a mass improvement. That's potential. So unemployment's at close to record lows, 3.5%, going up a little bit. Inflation still low, but sticking around, 3.5%. The Fed's goal is what, Brandon? 2%?
They were saying, well, for inflation, yeah, that's their goal every year.
Right. But they said that they're not going to touch interest rates. They're sticking with it.
They were promising 3 all year, but now they're kind of backtracking on that a bit.
And then number 5, which we just discussed in the previous segment, Trump being convicted or even acquitted of the New York case because they don't believe that any other cases are going to wrap up or even start before this summer. So of these 5 things, health concern, more war, RFK takes away votes from one of the candidates, the economy, downturn, or Trump being acquitted or even convicted, what do you think is the most likely shakeup of the election? Brandon?
Definitely RFK 100%. And I say this because if you look at the data from when Trump ran against Hillary, the biggest difference between that election and the 2020 election was that third-party candidates voted more, or there was a bigger turnout for the third party, taking away the Hillary vote compared to 2020. Less people voted, or the protest vote voted for Biden instead of being a protest vote. So I think he's going to pull more from RFK, and especially because, and I think that's why RFK said what you said this morning, because Trump did something very smart, which I've been advocating he does for a long time, which he said 4 months is a good agreement for abortion nationally, because it's pretty messed up to do it later than that. But 70% of the country thinks that it's reasonable to do it within 4 months, and barring health concerns being the only exception after that.
So you're saying RFK is the biggest potential shakeup in this election. Laura, what do you think?
Let me have the list.
Health concerns.
Health concerns?
War. RFK. Economy. Trump goes to jail or is acquitted.
Health concerns are that one's only going to be in his favor. I mean, Biden is literally a zombie. Yeah, he's Weekend at Bernie's. That's a joke. Trump, as old as he is a beast. I know from private intel, somebody that was like security when he was campaigning here. The guy is an absolute beast. Wheel a TV into this room. He just watches the news constantly and sleeps 4 hours. Yeah. The stuff about the next one was what happens globally in terms of
Which
war.
is the number 1 on your list?
I'm gonna go one by one. The what happens globally also can only help him because he is way better at all foreign obviously anybody feels safer and stronger with him behind the wheel than with Biden. Again, Biden's a zombie. Give me RFK.
I just asked for the one that you think is going to be the biggest. Not a breakdown of all 5.
I'm going through point by
point. Holy shit, Patrina, host the show.
I told you, I don't want to host anything. I just want to tell you. The economy, once again, the same as foreign policy. Trump is 1,000 times better. And these are things that I think are pretty unanimously really obvious and everybody's super aware of this. The case, that's what we just talked about, that's only going to help fire him up. And then RFK, I think he's going to
Thank you for that
I think he's
breakdown,
going to pull.
Regina.
The point is, it's all helps
So it's all
Trump.
Way
I think it's all helps
Way
Trump.
to stand
all
your
the-
ground and pick all five, Padrino.
all of the, because it's true.
Hey, you're keeping it clean today. I'm proud of you. That's my girl. Padrino's Cuban, best Cuban food at all of Miami. When you ask for one dish, they give you all five. Done.
Amazing.
Josie, what's the number one thing of these five things
So
that could shake up the election?
Well, I think that a lot of things we already have happening right now,
That's what I'm
and the
saying.
election is
Yeah.
already going in a certain direction. Like, we've pretty much been in a recession since we went to back-to-back quarters at minus 1.5. And then they changed the definition of recession so that we weren't in one anymore. So
Well, we're not in a recession now.
Oh yeah, we're done
That
now.
was
But we
a
were
year-
we
it was a
went
year ago.
through. Yes, we went through
That was
one.
2023,
We've
Q1, Q2. you're
come
talking
out
about.
of
And then
it.
they
Yes,
promised
exactly.
rate cuts, which
They-
boosted the
yeah,
market.
Exactly. So you know we've handled that, and that didn't really shake anything up.
Sure.
I think RFK, the third party, is we've seen that.
Okay, so
we've
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, finish your
Sorry,
statement.
we've seen a third party shake things up on a state level.
Ooh.
When it comes to even senators, you know.
Well,
I have a
So-
question.
Sure.
Do any of you guys know, like, let's say we actually officially go into World War III, is the United States even able to complete the election? Are
Yes.
they able to elect
Yeah.
a president in the midst of World War III?
Yes,
Yeah, I mean-
they elected a president during the Civil War.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I mean a world war. There's a difference. Isn't there
Yeah.
a difference between when a world war is occurring? I thought
It won't
that
be-
something halts the election process.
It won't be boots on the ground here, and it was boots on the ground during the Civil War, and they still did it. So yeah,
They
they,
don't really
could try. They could try to say, "Oh no, this is a catastrophe. We can't have an election." That's what I think in Ukraine they were like, "Oh no, can't hold elections in our democratic state while we arrest
Yeah.
journalists and close churches."
Right.
But I don't think even a world war would prevent the voting because they, you know what they
Okay.
do? Mail-in ballots all around for everybody. So
Right.
that would work
we already
in there.
There was.
planned for this. The pandemic already prepped us for all this. We're just going to have more dead people voting and more mail-in.
More dead people voting.
More mail-in ballots. I mean, we've already prepared
Guys,
for
welcome
this. That's
to
what
SOSCAST
2020 was
Conspiracy
about.
Edition. Let's just stay in reality for a second.
Oh,
boy.
because that
Oh,
wasn't
I'm
that.
just saying, this is the top five.
Adam, there's still some hardcore
Okay.
lib in you. Ew.
Yeah.
I'm
I
staying-
feel it. It's
trying to
coming
stay-
out tonight.
I'm asking
okay?
what's going on. This one goes, so World War III. Let's
She was asking a
It's a
legitimate
really,
question.
that's
Yeah.
honestly a very legitimate
We have-
question because
yes.
that has halted elections
It does.
previously in other
we
countries.
have
Informative
Russia
show.
and Ukraine drama. We have China and Taiwan drama. You know, then we have the U.S. paying for all of it on both sides because you know they always want to come out on top. So
Facts.
and then we have the petrodollar that we're dealing with on top of that with the BRICS alliance that are you know trying to overpower that with the yen, and they're getting close. They're getting some of our allies like Saudi Arabia and Japan to be able to get on board with them instead of the dollar. So the dollar is fading, and the dollar was like the global currency, and now that's fading very fast. So World War III is not completely out of
It's not
reality.
super conspiracy.
Guys, if I may.
Thanks, Jersey.
I'm fully
You're
aware
welcome.
because I'm the one that put together these top five lists for us to discuss, which had war, money, economy, and conflict all in it. So I'm kind of aware that war could justify a shakeup or the BRICS or the petrodollar. I'm with you guys. But I think the most common answer was a third-party candidate. That's what we talked about.
We're just trying to gauge how lib you are.
I'm as moderate and as not tied to any one particular party as humanly possible.
Wow.
You guys just admitted Trump could rape, steal, pillage, do anything. He's like, that's my president. I'm just saying there's boundaries
say
here
that.
No, yeah,
for
we didn't
everyone.
say
We
that.
did not say that.
Yeah.
No.
By the way, it's very cute how you make us look psycho just to
Exactly, that's my
cover
job.
up to cover up how you're just not a loyal
Typical
person.
There you go,
90s
guys.
Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm zero. Loyal to who? So loyal to who? What'd you say?
I said typical 90s Democrat.
Nah.
90s Democrat, but some of us are living in reality, not in the past. Thank you. Get back in the kitchen, Josie.
I could wreck you from the kitchen.
Good. Get to go.
Yo, Josie got him out on her.
I want
She
you to
is
stay
so
in the kitchen.
soft-spoken, but
We're on
she
the
got him
same
out.
page here. I don't want to be in the kitchen.
That's
Dap
so
you
funny.
up. There she
So
is.
funny.
No, I'm great at ordering Uber Eats. Shout out to Uber. That's how this segment is. So, but here's my point.
Okay.
If I can hone in on this,
Yep.
the one thing that can probably shake up this election more than anything is RFK.
Okay.
Yes.
This third-party candidate. He's the most viable third-party candidate we've
We've
seen
had, yeah.
since 1992. Ross Perot. Any
Yeah.
objections here?
No, can I?
Thank you. But what do you want to say?
I want to add why
Yes.
he's so valuable, why
Yes.
he's different, because he is appealing to the major issues in all the parties. So for the Democrats, he's appealing to gun control and abortion. For the Republicans, he's Israel. For the libertarians, he's exactly, and for the libertarians, he is abolish the alphabet agencies.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why he's drawing from each of those parties, and that's why he's so
fully agree. We're on the
Is he
same
super
page
sure,
here.
by the way, on the I think he just came out saying like the trans thing, but he wasn't super sure about it a little while ago.
What did he say about the trans thing?
That he wasn't fully like when he was here, he wasn't super sure about how he felt with like that whole trans issue. I think he's coming more like strong now, but I don't know if that's like his like top. I think conservatives more like don't force me to stick a needle in my arm. That's what people I think like on the right like about him.
Yes.
Whatever the issue is, and we'll talk about what the Americans' most pressing issues are. He's a viable candidate that is going to shake up this election one way or another and can sway the election in Biden or in Trump's favor. By the way, did you see what Trump had to say about RFK?
Yeah, that he's like nothing. He's like, who is he? He's nothing to worry about. Which I do think
Roll the video.
I think that was a little bit of a stretch. That was a little arrogant.
The audio at the top.
With
Look, RFK is polling very low. He's
Refresh it. Let's hear this one
not
more
a
time. You
serious
can pull up the
candidate.
article
They
while you're
say
doing
he
that.
hurts Biden. I don't know who
Guys,
he
I can't
hurts.
hear
He
the
might hurt
audio.
me. I don't know. But he has very low
You want me to
numbers.
put the
Yeah,
article
just
up?
refresh it.
Refresh it? Okay.
So,
And the audio at the top.
Look, RFK is polling very low. He's not a serious candidate. They say he hurts Biden. I don't know who he hurts. He might hurt me. I don't know. But he has very low numbers, certainly not numbers that he can debate with. And he's got to get his numbers up a lot higher before he's credible. But the numbers that he's taken away, they say will be against Biden. I don't know. I'm not so sure. It could be a little bit against me. But I don't see him as a factor. RFK, I don't know anything about him.
there it was right
RFK
there.
is polling.
RFK, I don't know anything about him.
the question was, would he
Yes.
debate him?
Correct.
Which I think Cuomo might have said this on PBD that was very tactical. Him actually taking that question because I do think that he thinks that it'll affect him. So he's like downplaying that he's a factor and probably wouldn't want to debate him because the fact is, I mean, Trump's not the most articulate guy out there, and RFK could probably defend himself a little bit better. But I mean, still. Trump with
I mean, when it
Biden.
comes down to who's a more impactful speaker, would you really find RFK to be a more impactful speaker, communicator versus Trump? I mean, I honestly,
they might be comparable in different ways because they both. I think RFK is like more articulate. He knows his thoughts. Like, cause I think Trump could be like redundant, and even in that, he's like, I don't know which side he's gonna hurt more. I don't know which side he's gonna hurt more. He just like kind of. He's not great on that, but he's clear.
He can talk to people at a third grade level. RFK is very smart, but he has a voice that doesn't translate
it
really.
doesn't
You know,
help
that's
him.
not his fault. But he did
Yes.
reach out to Donald Trump on X and request that he debate him at the Libertarian Convention, which they'll both be at, which would have been pretty cool, especially if you got a
Do you
Libertarian
want to see that?
candidate.
Do you think that would help Trump or hurt Trump too?
Hurt.
I
don't
think that would
know.
hurt him because of where they oppose on the vaccine, because Trump is standing by his Operation Warp Speed,
Yeah.
and RFK is like, this killed people.
Well,
Yeah.
here's some numbers for you guys. I think we have this on an article. Right now, here's the head-to-head national polls, if you can punch in. Trump is up by a slim margin. By the way, he was up by 2 to 4 points prior to Biden's State of the Union address. Now, what do those numbers say? 41 to 40?
Yeah, to 40.
Close election. These are national polls in swing states, which is the most important: Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Trump is polling a little bit better. That's what it's going to come down to. But it's pretty damn close here.
But what are we saying
by
that
the
if
way,
Kennedy's not there?
that is just Trump versus Biden.
Right.
But we're talking about what RFK can do. Do you have the numbers of what it's going to look like with RFK in the mix? All of a sudden,
Give me a second.
Trump, who leads Biden by a point or two, with 5 candidates, because it's not just RFK, it's who else?
Well, it's if a Libertarian gets it, we don't know.
Libertarian, non-existent, they're not even a candidate. Who else?
Green Party.
Green Party, who's the candidate?
No
Jill
idea.
Stein
Jill
probably.
Stein.
Yep.
Who's
Again.
constantly polling.
So they
at
do.
2%.
They usually are
And you have
get
Cornel
1 or
West.
2% of the vote.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's
Yep.
how much?
1 or 2% of the vote, and that can be a game changer
Check
with
this
that.
out right
but
here.
isn't that polling anyway?
How
from
the
Biden?
race shifts in a multi-field compared to a binary. Again, everyone's talking about Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Biden. Trump's winning right now. But if you factor in RFK and his give or take 12 to 15%, if you factor in Jill Stein constantly taking 2%, Cornel West taking a point or two, what happens here, guys? Biden, who's in blue, he was losing. You see 44 versus 46. Trump was up 2. He is now up 2 when RFK and other candidates are in the race. Guys, the race is always too close to call.
Yeah.
But just look at the numbers, guys.
That was
Yeah, but
1,000
those-
voters. That I just looked
Yeah,
at
but
it was
those
1,000 voters with a 3.1 differential. That's not exactly a reliable poll.
It's
point
exactly
is
what I was
this.
going to say.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't.
The whole conversation is, does RFK answer this? Does RFK help or hurt Trump, Josie?
If I were to look at the poll, that's not that great. He would hurt him in that regard, but so would
Okay.
the other candidates. But the third parties, as I said, usually do have that effect.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, so they can hurt the good guys.
That's probably what's going to happen here. So, by the way, did you think RFK has any chance to win this election?
No.
Oh God,
No.
no.
Has an
Absolutely not.
independent ever won in the history of the United States?
George
in
Washington.
the history
Well,
of
yeah.
the world.
I
Never.
mean,
George Washington was
The
Teddy
Republicans-
Roosevelt, when he did the Bull Moose thing, what happened
He
there?
didn't win there.
Okay, but it was
Yeah, he ran.
he
as
was
a third-
already president, then he ran as
He was like a strategic candidate to help
Okay.
somebody else win.
Yeah, there were the Democratic Republicans, there were the Whigs, there were a bunch of parties before there were the Democrats and the
them
Republicans.
Wiggers.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.